First on CBS this morning, we are breaking news of an incredible treasure find. The story begins in the 18th century. 11 Spanish ships were destroyed in a hurricane off the coast of Florida. They were sailing from Havana, Cuba to Spain.
This event is still considered the most significant treasure loss in history. In July 1715, a Spanish treasure fleet embarked on a fateful voyage from Havana, its holds filled with gold, silver, and precious gems harvested from the New World. But the Atlantic was no passive route. A powerful hurricane soon swept through, dashing ships against Florida's coast and sinking immense fortunes beneath the waves. Most of this treasure still remains in the Atlantic, sparking centuries of myth and pursuit. These legends flourished during the 18th century, the golden age of piracy. An era when figures like Blackbeard and Henry Morgan roamed free, igniting imaginations in literature like Stevenson's Treasure Island and on-screen in Pirates of the Caribbean. Meanwhile, in the gaming world, even though games like Sid Meier's Pirates, Monkey Island, and even Legend of Zelda Wind Waker tried to capture the thrill of the seas, a truly immersive pirate adventure had yet to be achieved. That changed in 2013. Centuries after the hurricane that doomed the Spanish treasure fleet, Ubisoft resurrected the tale. Not just in a decent pirate game, but in what would become one of the most acclaimed action-adventure games of its time. In October 2013, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was released to widespread acclaim, marking Ubisoft's first real dive into capturing the authentic spirit of pirate life, combining it seamlessly with the established Assassin's Creed formula. The thrilling naval combat, stunning Caribbean setting, and Brian Tyler's BAFTA-nominated score all earned widespread praise. But at the core of the game was the inspired pirate story. Inspired by real-life pirates and led by the raw, ambitious Edward Kenway, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag features one of the most compelling stories in the series.
Lively Havana. I've been here once before. It was a truly awful pleasure.
Edward Kenway's arrival in Havana, a thriving colonial port and pirate's refuge, marked a decisive chapter in his quest for wealth.
Taken for a pirate again.
Not long before, Edward had slain an assassin called Duncan Volpole to save his own skin, adopting his identity and seizing an unexpected opportunity.
Senor Duncan Walpole, I accept your most generous offer and await your arrival with eagerness. If you truly possess the information we desire, we have the means to reward you handsomely. Though I will not know your face by sight, I believe I can recognize the costume made infamous by your secret order. Therefore, come to Havana in haste, and trust that you shall be welcomed as a brother. Su más humilde servidor, el gobernador Laureano Torres y Ayala.
So accompanied by the English pirate Stede Bonnet and impersonating Duncan Volpole, Edward ventured to Havana with eyes set on a reward from Governor Torres.
I can hang about. I might have a drink.
Here, the first steps into Havana's bustling streets doubles as an initiation for the player, showcasing the franchise's signature parkour, social stealth, combat, and viewpoints. Havana, the capital of Cuba, thrived in the 17th century as a key port due to its strategic location along crucial trade routes. Its prosperity came from serving as the hub for Spanish treasure fleets, which carried vast riches from the Americas to Spain.
Grandmaster Torres, Mr. Duncan Walpole has arrived.
Still impersonating Duncan Walpole, Edward soon meets with Governor Torres and Templar allies Woodes Rogers and Julian Ducasse. Here, Edward learns about the Templars' mission: to track down Bartholomew Roberts, a mysterious sage who holds the secret to the observatory, an artifact promising unparalleled power.
You know what I'm thinking? I'd like to see this observatory the governor's going on about.
The promise of the observatory's power stirred Edward's greed, prompting him to attempt a daring breakout of Roberts for his own gain. However, this reckless pursuit soon backfired, leading to Edward's capture at the hands of the Templars.
Basta ya!
Edward's dream of becoming a legendary pirate would begin not in the glory of the open sea, but as a prisoner aboard a ship, among the doomed Spanish treasure fleet of 1715.
And there I am, a man of quality, with 1,000 doubloons spilling from my pockets. Like drops of rain, I can see it.
La cena, cómetela rápido.
You hungry?
Those were Edward's first words to fellow prisoner Adewale, a man who would soon become vital to his journey. With makeshift cunning, they used the gruel to loosen their bindings and break free.
Now what's your plan, mate?
Find the weapon and steal a ship.
To proceed with that plan, the hurricane outside provides perfect cover as they stealthily dispatch the distracted guards. They soon come across confiscated weapons and arm themselves, with Edward finding a leather vest to restore his signature look.
There's many prisoners held on these ships. Set them free, and they'll sail with us, no question.
And up on the deck is where the beauty of the mission starts. Their only chance out of this is stealing a brig and freeing prisoners to bolster their crew.
Free what men we can.
While Adewale handles the brig, Edward must discreetly eliminate the Spanish guards and free the men. Edward deftly traverses the rigging of the brigs, demonstrating Black Flag's detailed ship-based parkour. While earlier games had elementary stealth missions based on traversing through a boat structure, this game's full rigging system allows Edward to move through great heights unnoticed. He skillfully eliminates guards with fluid aerial assassinations, using the raging storm as cover. And he continues freeing prisoners across multiple ships, leaping between them on extended beams. After taking out most of the guards across the entire fleet, he goes below deck on the final ship to liberate the last captives.
No te muevas.
We're going topside. Be ready.
The final victim is the stolen brig's captain, who Edward stylishly eliminates using a halyard rope.
Lay aboard, lads.
Save your singing for Davy Jones, you jagabats! It's a hard wind coming!
The man speaks true. You lot weigh anchor. As for the rest, half on the foremast and half at the main.
Now at the helm, Edward faces his biggest foe yet, the unforgiving storm.
Watch on those galleons.
This part of the mission is unforgettable, due in large part to Brian Tyler's sweeping score.
Bark any orders you think wise, men.
Edward has to
We're
battle
up
through
against
chaos
it.
under storm-lit skies, while also guiding the vessel through towering rogue waves and swirling waterspouts.
Ease off the wind. Loose oar.
After a grueling battle against nature's fury, Edward and his crew manage to weather the storm, finally breaking through the chaos and emerging into calm, clear skies.
By God, we pulled this one straight from the teeth of Neptune. I'm Edward. Much thanks for your aid back then.
Adewale.
Ever been to Nassau, Adewale?
Not yet.
By God, she took some knocks, didn't she? I think I'll keep her.
This ship, which Edward christens the Jackdaw, will soon become his greatest companion in his grand adventure, a vessel that will carry him across the Caribbean seas and into the depths of his own character.
I'm calling her the Jackdaw. A sly bird I loved as a child back in Swansea.
By the time players complete the Treasure Fleet mission, they have a clear sense of Edward Kenway's persona. A talented yet mercenary pirate whose aspirations revolve around wealth and personal glory. Driven by the desire to validate his existence through treasure and status, Edward has little regard for the ideological battles unfolding around him. His motivations are simple. He wants to be more than just a forgotten name. But what follows for Edward Kenway and Black Flag is a journey of profound self-discovery. As the story progresses, Edward evolves from a purely self-interested pirate to a more thoughtful, self-aware individual. A transformation that defines the game's character arc. This redemption is what sets Black Flag apart from its predecessors. Edward was a pirate long before he ever became an assassin. As a pirate, Edward embodies many of the qualities typically associated with the archetype: cunning, charm, and a thirst for adventure. His story could easily have followed the path of many other pirate-themed protagonists, such as Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean or Long John Silver from Treasure Island, who prioritize personal freedom and treasure over moral considerations. However, Edward's journey diverges from this well-worn path as he is gradually shaped by the events around him. His arc concludes with one of the most moving finales in the Assassin's Creed series. Starting as a man fueled by ambition and personal gain, he reflects on the turbulent journey that cost so many lives. Ultimately leaving behind the pirate's life that once defined him and deciding to embrace a life of quiet purpose and responsibility.
What's wrong, Haven?
I can't see the stage.
Up we go. How's that?
Fine. But won't your arms tire?
Hey, I'm not so old as that. But if they do, then we shall quit this posh gig and go and meet your mother for some chocolate at White's. How's that sound?
Yes, please.
Okay, hush now.
When the game first released, it was met with both acclaim and a degree of skepticism. Many fans saw it as diverging too far from the core themes that define the series. However, 11 years later, Black Flag's legacy is viewed as a pivotal turning point that shaped the evolution of the franchise. Its ambitious blend of naval warfare, open-world exploration, and a dynamic pirate narrative set a precedent that encouraged Ubisoft to expand creatively in future games. Its success laid the groundwork for Ubisoft's bold pivot toward larger, more exploratory RPGs like Odyssey and Valhalla. These titles embraced vast, immersive worlds and non-linear storytelling, a trajectory that might not have gained traction without Black Flag's proof of concept. Moreover, its innovative naval mechanics directly influenced later series elements.
Let's go! Get ready to fight!
Currently, there are even verified rumors of a 9th-gen remake. Ubisoft's acknowledgement of its lasting popularity underlines its significance, showing that Edward Kenway's story revived the franchise at a time of potential fatigue and demonstrated that risk and innovation could resonate deeply with audiences. So while the debate around its place in the Assassin's Creed pantheon has evolved, Black Flag still stands as a crowning jewel of the series. It stands as a testament to a game where Ubisoft dared to defy.